Hey, how's it going guys? This is John from UDS and welcome to our review of Trek to Yomi, a brand new side-scrolling action-adventure game from publishers Devolver Digital and developers Flying Wild Hog. We're going to tell you everything you need to know before you play, but before I do, make sure to hit subscribe for plenty more on all things gaming every single week. And just for fun, why not drop a shark emoji in the comments too? I like sharks. I feel like I say it about every other week by this point, but Devolver Digital have been absolutely knocking it out of the park lately. The past couple of years have seen a slew of great releases, highlighting the cream of the indie crop and giving them the platform they deserve. They've already started this year strong with the exceptional Weird West, which you can find the review of on this channel here, pluggy plug, and they're looking to keep this good run going with Trek to Yomi. Ostensibly a side-scrolling action-adventure game, you play as Hiroki, a young samurai hell-bent on revenge after the loss of his home. Heavily inspired by Japanese cinema as well as traditional Shinto beliefs, will Trek to Yomi live up to its early hype? Watch on to find out. So I couldn't start anywhere else other than with the game's aesthetics, because they might be an all-timer. Visually, it evokes the spirit of filmmakers like Kurosawa, employing a black and white minimalism with just a hint of film grain. The changing camera perspectives only augment this cinematic appeal, making you feel like you're part of a grand period epic. But if the bedrock of the world is Kurosawa, the action is definitely more Takashi Miike. It can be incredibly brutal, with monochromatic blood squirting everywhere, but even this has its own weird sense of elegance. If you already have a reverence for this type of film, this game is unabashed, unadulterated fan service, and I'm absolutely here for it. I chose to use the word aesthetics earlier rather than diving straight into the visuals, as it would do a disservice to the game's audio, which is equally as impressive. Everything from the crackle of fire to the snick of swords leaving sheaths helps to add to the atmosphere. This is definitely one to play with headphones or a good sound system if you can. But before you start thinking Trek to Yomi is all style over substance, we have to talk quickly about its excellent story. At its heart, it's a revenge tale, as Hiroki and his ancestors travel to hell and back to get their justice. Although great work has gone into keeping everything authentic to Edo, Japan, there's an element of the supernatural too, which helps it to stand out from other recent games set during this time period. After all, Yomi refers to the land of the dead, or literally, the world of darkness. These more fantastical elements are all grounded by some great voice acting and character work. The Japanese dialogue with English subtitles helps to keep you immersed in the world the developers have created. You'll really feel the stoic struggle that Hiroki is forced to embark upon, and the roughly 5 hours of the campaign flies by. If you're anything like me, you'll want to go back in and try to uncover every little secret just to keep the adventure going. You know, it kind of feels strange to leave the actual gameplay segment to the end of the review, because it's still really good, it's just the packaging around it is so outstanding, it sort of feels weaker by comparison. You'll go through phases where things might feel a bit more patient and meditative, allowing you to soak in the scenery as you take in the various landscapes, but these quieter moments make the action feel all the more frenetic by comparison. It's not the deepest melee combat I've ever seen, but it does enough to keep you on your toes. You'll have to react and adjust your style depending on the enemies in front of you. Like a lot of games like this, much of it is based on blocks and parries, and there's a lot of trial and error involved. Again, if you're anything like me, you'll die a lot, particularly in the early stages. But when you finally master an opponent, it gives you soul-spawn levels of satisfaction. Fortunately, you can adjust the difficulty, depending on if you want a vein-bulging challenge or a more story-focused affair. There's also a post-game one-hit mode, which I haven't had a chance to check out yet, but I'm certain I wouldn't be good enough to play either way. If I had to sum up Trek to Yomi's biggest weakness, it's that after finishing it, I'm probably going to spend more time watching other people play it than playing it myself. Don't get me wrong, it's not because I didn't have a great time, but because I want to absorb the visuals and story without having to worry about navigating everything myself. There's a really good game in there. Perhaps nothing we haven't experienced before, but enough to keep you engaged and invested. But as a work of art, it's on another level, a near perfect combination of traditional inspirations with an original flair, and something I implore you to go and check out as soon as you can. But what did you think of Trek to Yomi? Please let me know in the comments below, I would love to read your thoughts. And while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe for more video game content every single week, or you can always visit UpsideDownShark.com to keep up with everything we've got going on. Until then, my name is Tom, this has been UDS, and we'll see you next time.